Before we get started, there will be spoilers for Elden Ring Nightreign in the video to come. Wow. Wow. Elden Ring Nightreign is, at the time of recording, mere days away. And to celebrate, From Software and Bandai Namco have dropped a spectacular launch trailer for us to comb through. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Clocking in at almost 2 minutes long, the launch trailer gives us a genuinely stunning look at what to expect come May the 30th, and I have to say, I am really excited and really impressed. The vision for what the game is and what it's trying to be, what it's trying to do, really feels cohesive. Like it's coalesced, like it's come together in these final crucial days, and I can't wait to see and experience it fully for myself. So, settle in as we move through the launch trailer frame by frame and attempt to discover, to unearth any secrets it may be hiding. There was a spoiler warning at the start of the video, but I want to emphasize that I will be watching this trailer from the perspective of someone who does have a lot of knowledge about certain leaked aspects of the game, who's seen all of the trailers based on the discussions in our previous videos, so just make sure you're aware of that, in case you wanted to go into Nightreign completely blind, which is totally understandable. And by the way, before we begin, I just wanted to say an enormous thank you to everyone who checked out the previous video on the channel. It's not even 24 hours old yet, but the response has been wonderful, and I genuinely appreciate it a lot. Speaking of appreciating it a lot, we're still trying to reach our next goal of 15,000 subs here on the channel, so if you haven't done already, if you're new to the channel, or you just haven't hit that button yet, consider doing so today if you like the video, if you like the other videos on the channel. We're still new, we're still small, but we are trying to grow, and I do appreciate all of the help. It really does mean the absolute world, and it makes an enormous amount of difference. So, the trailer begins with a beautifully pre-rendered sequence showing a team of 3 Nightfarers at the end of their rope. Both the Duchess and the Guardian appear to be knocked out or maybe even killed outright, while Wilder struggles to his feet in the center of the team, facing down whatever insurmountable threat has seemingly nearly bested them. Streaks of lightning wash over him as he clings to his sword, the blade buried in the earth, the only thing still keeping him upright. I love how straight up oppressive this opening sequence is. The 3 of them are being relentlessly battered by thunderous rainfall, and you can see as well the blue flames of the encroaching night's tide surrounding them on all sides. By all accounts, the Nightfarers have failed. The night has devoured Limveld, and all hope seems to be lost. This is only the very opening, this pre-rendered sequence, but in my opinion, this is one of the strongest showings of what this game actually is, what it's about, what it's trying to convey. The seemingly mountainous, everlasting battle against the endless night, and just how difficult, if not outright impossible, it is to overcome. The visual of the rain lashing down upon these guys constantly is so awesome to see, and works really, really well at setting the tone and building the atmosphere. But you know what? Wait a minute. This all seems rather familiar. And yes, that's because this pre-rendered sequence is actually the game's main key art, transformed before our very eyes into a stunning showcase of the team's artistry. And I really mean it, because if in case you can't tell, I love this sequence. This is a wonderful looking visual. Wilder reloads his hookshot defiantly as he attempts to straighten up, the rain continuing to batter him without mercy. I like as well that although Wilder seems determined to continue the fight in this moment, even lifting his head in a genuinely triumphant scene, the flames of the night's tide have even found their way onto his body at this point. He is almost completely overcome, and there really doesn't seem to be any hope whatsoever. It's pretty funny, of course, as well, that Wilder just doesn't seem to be trying to revive his fallen comrades, and is instead striking as cool a pose as possible before being engulfed entirely. To be honest, it's the right thing to do in the moment. Go down striking a badass pose. But as Wilder rises, a voiceover reads, "The Nightfarers. The will to cross the endless night and fight on, till every shred of their being is ground away." Presumably this speaker is the same mysterious woman who appeared in the Elden Ring Nightreign reveal trailer, who wears a white hooded cloak. Beneath the cloak, she seems to wear a mask very similar to that of the Duchess, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later, but for now, I'm not sure we know much more about her. Either way, this voiceover is fairly straightforward. The Nightfarers are those willing to take the fight to the Endless Night itself, even while Limveld is swallowed up. And yes, as the trailer starts for real, we begin with a big one. Revenant again at long last. Okay, so it's not the final Nightfarer's true character trailer, introductory trailer, gameplay reveal, anything like that, but it is great to finally see her again. I really do absolutely love this character's design as well from what we've seen so far. She is a doll, as is made much clearer later on, dressed all in white, and she, like the other classes, gets her own unique animation when entering a game. Here she's seemingly using her lyre, summons a gigantic skeleton spirit, and she just casually waves at the giant spirit as she heads into Limveld, who we've all but assumed she is actually able to summon in-game. It's a great little touch of personality for the character, and I can't help but think the Nightfarers are going to go over really well with fans and the community. I think they're going to end up being quite popular, because it does seem like From have made a concerted effort to help each and every one of them stand out and be individuals on their own. Not just in the way they play, because obviously that's going to be the biggest differentiator, but in every other way as well. Obviously, this is From's first time really doing something like this, doing a class-based roguelike, but I think they've knocked it out of the park in terms of the cast of characters here. But interestingly, Revenant's lyre disappears as she prepares to make the journey to Limveld, accompanied by Recluse and Iron Eye. We then see the familiar shot of Wilder sprinting towards the mountain's edge before leaping and grabbing the spectral hawk, as was seen in the reveal trailer for the game, before things get truly crazy. Moving into more gameplay now, and we are introduced to the terrifying Nightlords once again, starting things off with the Dark Drift Knight, who crashes onto the battlefield, a golden sky hanging low behind him. And considering I think most of the Nightlord battles begin with an indistinct backdrop, I wonder if this is maybe the start of his second phase, perhaps. Plus, we've seen the Dark Drift Knight boss fight, that is not easy to say, by the way, with the kind of blank, more standard backdrop before, so that's kind of my assumption. I believe we've seen him using this very same attack before as well, where he leaps into the air and slams his lance into the ground. So I don't think this is a cutscene or anything, I think this is just gameplay that has been repurposed as such. But then, whoa, out of nowhere, we get our first great look, our first clear look at another Nightlord, Sentient Pest. One of the few Nightlords that we hadn't actually seen at all yet. And okay, it's pretty much what I thought it was going to be. Sentient Pest appears to be some kind of combination of two insects, as we predicted, one being a white, glittering, iridescent moth with multicolour wings perched atop what looks like a monstrous scorpion creature of sorts. This was the part of the boss that was always the hardest to discern from the leaked artwork. And look, I'll be honest, after the last video, I'm still not sure what part of this creature constitutes living shears. I'm guessing it's this scorpion's kind of gigantic front pincers that we briefly see it rearing up to use, so maybe the lore description is basically saying, because I wrongly assumed, I think, that whatever these shears were, whatever it meant, they would meet you out in the field after you avoided the lightfall, but I don't think that is what's going on here at all. Basically, what it seems the description meant was, if you manage to avoid the moth's light rain, you will actually make it to the boss, but then you will have to deal with the shears themselves, which is the scorpion, and that makes sense to me. But either way, this definitely gives us the best look at this boss to date. As the scorpion creature kind of rears up to ready an attack, the moth flies upwards, detaching itself from the scorpion, and unleashes a resplendent volley of shimmering light that rains down upon the players. Probably, I guess, a pretty similar attack to the one it sends out into the overworld. Honestly, this is just another really fantastic looking boss. The moth in particular has a subtly cool and almost majestic design. It does remind me, of course, of the Moonlight Butterfly from Dark Souls 1. I love the patterns on the wings. The creature itself does look mystical. It makes me wonder if these two insects are working together as like a partnership, or maybe the moth, as it is riding the scorpion's back, is somehow in control of the scorpion, or maybe they are one and the same being. It kind of makes me wonder as well, when their boss fight comes around, their actual Nightlord boss fight, this is our first look at that, as the only other time we saw Sentient Pest was when it appeared, in quotes, in the IGN first video out in the overworld. Presumably Sentient Pest will just have one health bar between the two of these creatures, so you attack either of them and it will damage the same health bar? Maybe not, maybe they will have completely separate bars and they will have totally separate names, but the overworld variant is just called Sentient Pest and it shares a health bar? I'm only guessing. We then get another look at Gaping Jaw, this time with a transformed battleground, one where the sky itself is drenched in purple light, which looks really amazing. It charges a massive blast of lightning, which sends all three of the Nightfarers flying backwards at the same time. I can't help but wonder if them all running directly at it together like that from the same angle was maybe not the smartest move, but there you go. In what is one of the trailer's most tantalizing scenes, one of the scenes that I have the most questions about, we see a team of Nightfarers using spectral hawks to encircle what looks to be a genuinely gigantic legacy dungeon. An absolutely massive, multi-layered cityscape that I already can't wait to explore. But more importantly, that I can't quite discern. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it does look kind of familiar. I'm not sure we've ever seen this city before, which would seem to imply a totally brand new dungeon, and a huge one at that. But on first glance though, I wondered if this was maybe a version of Lanedell. They're both a similar size, I think. They're both laid out similarly to the point where both of them reach their highest point with a domed cathedral connected to the lower tier by a prominent staircase. But ultimately I'm not sure they look similar enough to be the same place. Either way, is this another of the major map changes that we can expect? An event similar to the appearance of the giant lava-filled crater? I almost wonder if these events are designed to be essentially randomly appearing legacy dungeons of a sort. Either way, I absolutely love a good Souls city, and this looks very exciting to explore as the night's tide races inward. I actually think we may have seen this city a couple of times before, albeit never from this angle. In the original reveal trailer, Wilder runs through an open courtyard surrounded on all sides by towering ornate buildings, and everything has a slightly purple tinge to it. Could this be the same area? And the same thing goes for Astel's appearance in the overview trailer. Could this be where his boss arena is located? And this sounds silly, but the purple hue of the area, of the city, makes me wonder if it's at all affiliated with the Nox and the eternal cities of Elden Ring itself. The idea of a Lord of Night does play a major role in Nox lore, so maybe there's an association? I will say, this looks like something I would adore exploring meticulously, so it's going to be a bit of an adjustment, having to kind of jump in and jump out of what looks to be such a layered and dense area, rushing around the place as quickly and efficiently as possible. I suppose it just encourages return visits, though, on subsequent runs, as at least the first time you arrive here, time limit depending, you are likely just going to be doing a surface level scouring for items and then making a beeline for it. We then get an interesting story beat focused on Duchess as she affixes her mask, kind of like I have to do to my glasses all the time, and turns away from the round table, clearly preparing to enter the fray herself. Now, I'm going to throw up an additional spoiler warning here, as I'm going to briefly touch on something I haven't discussed on the channel yet previously, as it was only leaked late last night. I only saw it once I woke up. But based on the game's revealed trophy list, which apparently isn't too bad, by the way, so I will probably try and go for the platinum here, Duchess and Revenant are both unlockable classes, which is a little bit weird to me, considering Duchess has been so prominent in both the game's marketing, in the network test. To then lock her away at the start of the game's actual life is a little odd, but meaning it seems pretty likely that Duchess is in fact the mysterious woman in the white hood, and this little cutscene occurs when you unlock her as a playable class. Perhaps we see her removing the cloak and fixing her mask a little bit after taking off her hood. And I know this has been discussed before as well, but does the Duchess have a connection to the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3? Is the hooded version of the character supposed to be akin to a Firekeeper? I'm not sure, but it's interesting, and I particularly like the idea that the Nightfarers, or some of them anyway, may play integral roles in the game's story and lore. We are then treated to a very brief shot of Eye making their way towards what appears to be the round table itself, though of course the lighting of the hold here is totally off and weird. I almost wonder if it's meant to be a flashback, perhaps. But then, yes, From Software tease us yet again with the Revenant. They know what they're doing at this point. Lying on her side, the Revenant reaches out with a segmented hand. And I absolutely love that she is confirmed to be a doll. I mean, she feels like a Bloodborne reference in that sense, about as Bloodborne as we can possibly get in this game, though her colour scheme is giving me massive Sophia from Lies of P vibes. Either way, probably my favourite character design in the game. It's still a little early to say that so definitively, but right now, she's probably my favourite, and I have to wonder if perhaps this is also when you unlock Revenant as a playable class. Maybe this cutscene shows her being brought to life somehow, if she really is just a motionless doll in the Round Table hold perhaps beforehand. We then see Wilder battling Gladius and using his ultimate ability Onslaught Stake, and after that a trio of Raider, Recluse, and Executor prepare to battle Caligo, Miasma of Night, whom we discussed at length in yesterday's video, with Executor using his ultimate ability to transform into what the game calls the Primordial Beast, which is in itself interesting. As the trailer ends, we return to our incredible pre-rendered sequence from the opening. Only now it appears Wilder has actually decided to revive his two teammates, and now he, Duchess, and Guardian prepare to face down... I'm not sure. What I'm assuming is meant to be the embodiment of the very night itself. Honestly, I can't remember if this thing has actually ever been discussed before in an official capacity or otherwise, but it certainly looks pretty creepy and weird as it encroaches upon Limveld, conjuring a shimmering blue rune in the sky. Now, I believe we've glimpsed a shot of what looks like a twisting, churning cloud descending upon the game world in past trailers, likely as one of the many random events taking place, and I can't help but wonder if maybe this is that, or an offshoot of this, though it really doesn't look like it that much. Now either way, not only is this a fantastic way to end the trailer with a real impact, with a real statement that kind of sets the tone for the entire game, but what an unbelievably epic and fitting soundtrack as well. And so there you have it, the launch trailer for Elden Ring Nightreign. I am really feeling the hype now. Everything is full steam ahead for the game's release Thursday night, and I can't wait to dive in. I'm hopeful they might release a gameplay trailer for Revenant yet, or at least an introductory trailer, as we still don't really know how she works, but aside from that, all systems are pretty much go. Honestly, this was a wonderful trailer. Definitely the best one for the game so far. I think the one that was the most ironclad, the one that sold the game's identity the best, the one that felt the most sure of itself. The pre-rendered sequence is packed full of detail, and I love how it brings the key art of the game itself to life. The Nightlords themselves have fantastic and unique designs, and I love how each one seems to almost embody a specific colour, and then paints their individual battlegrounds as the fight progresses. Again, there are just a lot of incredible details and touches here, and it's all very exciting. Okay, everyone, but that's it for today's video. As always, I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you took something of value away from it as well. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What did you think of Elden Ring Nightreign's launch trailer? How excited for the game are you? It releases in a couple of days at the time of recording, and I really am looking forward to it a lot. I can't wait to finally dive in and spend some time with it. Once again, a massive thank you for the support on the last video. It does mean a lot. And again, a huge thank you to all of you who are here supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form. It makes an enormous difference, and I really do appreciate it. Alright, but I think that's about it for this video. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the Elden Ring Nightreign launch trailer? Which character class are you going to play first? And I'd love to know which of the Nightlords you're most excited to tackle as well. Alright everyone, once again, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you later, and let's talk games again.